Welcome back, agents. This week we are in the middle of a dust storm event, which sees New York City under the effects of dust storms, with some new enemies to fight, keys to collect, and a community goal to reach. Like a sand version of the Cherry Blossom event from the spring. The event has also brought back realism mode, last seen in the anniversary season in March 2026. Back then, I wasn't too interested in realism. It was difficult to get into, nothing like the regular game I enjoyed so much, and I had no fun with it. I previously made a video on hardcore characters with my thoughts on how I thought it fit into the Division 2. My opinion hadn't really changed that much since then. But with this event, I decided to give realism another try, this time going head-on into hardcore realism with my good friend Livid Frey. Quick side note, please check out her channel and drop a follow on all platforms. She is amazing, and I'm so thankful to have gotten to know her so well recently. So for anyone unfamiliar with what all this means, if you die on hardcore, you lose all your character's progress and all the equipment you are carrying. In the regular game, it's very punishing. You keep your stashed items, but the progress loss is huge. You go back to level 1 and have to start the story from the beginning. At least with realism, in its current form, you only lose progress in the Warlords of New York campaign. The gear is awarded to you during the campaign, so it doesn't really matter if you lose it. Realism is an interesting change to the Division 2. You no longer have gear and weapon talents, brand bonuses, gear sets, and so on. All you have is your agent, your weapon, and some basic Division skills. There are stat modifiers on the gear, but they are fairly minor. Some accuracy, stability, and movement speed changes, but nothing crazy. Enemies are less tanky, but you also take a lot more damage and don't have so much armor or survivability in general. I've come to realize that I actually really like that I don't have to think about talents, brand bonuses, gear sets, or do I have enough crit chance with my weapon, and so on. It's still the Division universe I love, but I can actually concentrate on the gameplay. But what does this have to do with Escape from Tarkov? Well, for the past 3 months, I have been addicted to the game's PvE mode. I am not a PvP player, and so never considered I would actually enjoy the game. PvE is much more relaxed. You can take your time and know that you only face NPCs in each raid. Some of the NPCs are actually insane, I won't deny, but at least they are somewhat predictable. Tarkov has taught me a completely different way of playing that I didn't expect to be able to achieve. For years, I've relied on mini-maps, radars, health bars, endless ammo, and a respawn button. You fail, you go again where you left off, no big deal. In Tarkov, you have none of that. No visual indicators, limited supplies, manual magazine packing and reloading, an entire health and vitality management system, and most crucially, you lose almost all you have on you when you die. The key difference here is that you don't lose progression in the same way you do in hardcore in the Division 2. You may lose some quest progression, some good quality armor and ammo, etc., but if you ensure your items, you will get those back eventually. What I have learned from the 400 hours of Tarkov I've played so far is that I am a better player when I remove all the overwhelming visual input from a cluttered UI. I don't actually need ammo counters, health bars, damage numbers, and so on. I would much rather concentrate on the gameplay and rely on my skill and experience for everything else. I think also I'm at the point with gaming where, although I play way more casually than I used to, I need gameplay that is high risk, high reward to keep my interest. The Division 2 is played as a looter first and a shooter second, in my opinion. I think it's all too easy to get swept along with the community where high efficiency farming is the priority. Make number go big, more loot per second, and so on. Tarkov, and now Realism 2, has taught me that loot is important, but the experience and the gameplay is actually far more rewarding. Livid and I recently completed the full Warlords of New York campaign on hardcore realism with the UI, reticle, and all visual information turned off. I highly recommend checking out her video of our run. It was great fun, and actually one of the best things I've done in the Division 2 in a long time. So what comes next? Sadly, I think realism is only here for a short time while the event is still active, and then it's back to normal. Tarkov still takes up most of my gaming time, and yet I feel like I'm just scratching the surface of that game. I would like to see realism become a permanent feature of the game, maybe in Division 3 as an alternative gameplay option, similar to how it works in the Ghost Recon series. In the meantime, I'll continue as a casual Division player and hop back in from time to time with big events and updates. Let me know in the comments if you've tried realism, hardcore, or even Tarkov, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, thanks for watching.
The Rikers were running a pretty ambitious operation here. I'm surprised they were able to pull it off.
They're a crafty bunch, and they seem to have started to think more about the future. If you got the weapons and the money, that's power. We shouldn't underestimate them.
This takedown is sure to set them back a bit. Well done, Agent.